Good morning guys, welcome back to another video. Firstly, I apologise for the absolute state of me. I've just woken up, it's currently 5:30 in the morning. On a weekday, I usually get up about 5. I usually train first thing in the morning because if I train afterwards, A, the gym's really busy, and B, I just can't really give it my all in training. My mind's still in work mode and I just can't seem to separate from it. I've always been like that, and obviously I can't utilise as much things like caffeine or pre-workout, so that's why I train in the morning. I can still get just as good performance, if not better, in the morning. The only downside is obviously it's a bit more of a rush trying to get like training, shower and eating and work in, and I'm usually starting work about 8:30, so it's usually a bit of a rush. Today I'm not working, I'm actually off, but it's a weekday, so I'm sticking to my normal routines. I've got a lot to do, and I have got a lot of my own like work to do, extra work to catch up on, and a bit of like client work and that sort of stuff I have on a Wednesday anyway. So as for before the gym, because I train so early, some people train fasted. Again, that's absolutely fine if you can get away with it. My pre-workout meal's actually my last meal the day before. So yesterday I had my oats, which you'll see is my 5th meal today. But I still like to have something in my stomach before I actually go to the gym. I don't know what it is, but usually I'll start the workout really well if I train fasted, and then by about exercise 3, 4, I'm just starting to like drag a little bit. It could be my carbs running a bit lower, but I think it's all placebo and all the mind. But yeah, that's just what I do. I've got an intro workout when it has 25 carb, 5 creatine, gram of salt and gram of low salt. But I don't have EAAs in it because my stomach doesn't digest them. So that's another reason why I have a meal before I go, is just to get like some sort of protein serving. Otherwise I'm going fasted, and then by the time I eat, I don't know, I don't like going that long in the morning without any sort of protein serving and training. So the first meal is literally just 40 grams of whey and 2 rice cakes. Towards the end of my off season last week, it was 40 grams of whey and then like 4 rice cakes and jam on them. So obviously this meal's come down quite a bit, but like I said, it's just to get something in my stomach and just get a protein serving in. And I need to digest it in about half an hour to an hour, because that's when I'll start training. And I have a pre-workout, which is still only about 150 milligrams of caffeine because I'm early on my diet. But yeah, I'm gonna literally eat this now. I've got about 1,000 steps to do. I usually eat this while I'm on the treadmill, an indoor treadmill now, just get the first 1,000 to 2,000 steps in. I won't have a coffee because, like I said, I'll have a pre-workout in an hour's time, but I'll make a fake coffee, otherwise I'll get shouted at. So I'm gonna make this now, I'm gonna throw it all together, and I'll catch you guys probably on the way to the gym. So I completely forgot to mention when I was talking there, I apologise for the noise of the treadmill underneath me. I also have 1.5 litres to 2 litres of water before I train, if it's first thing in the morning. I drink a lot of water anyway. I find with clients, the number 1 mistake they make when they train first thing in the morning is they might have something to eat and they might have a bit of water to drink or a bit of hydration, but they don't drink enough. Like the first thing in the morning, obviously you're feeling a bit nauseous, you don't want to consume loads of water or loads of food, but if you're training first thing, at least consume enough water. Like the amount of times I'll go into sessions and they're like, oh, you know, I'm not really feeling it in today's session. If you drank enough water, you will probably feel so much better. Now, you don't need to consume 3, 4, 5 litres of water and run the risk of overhydration, but do have enough water. If you're normally having like 6 to 8 litres of water a day, for example, why would you only have half a litre before going to the gym? Just make sure you get a good couple of litres, especially if you're training earlier on in the morning and you're used to more water. If you don't drink much water normally, then yeah, you probably get away with close to like a litre, but just try it. Just try and drink a bit more water, see how you feel. Use electrolytes if you can or if you want to. I use a gram of low salt and a gram of salt because that's enough for me. Also, I apologise for the hair. I know it needs a good cut. I was thinking of like growing it and seeing what I could do with it, but it's got to the point now where I just can't be bothered. It's an absolute mess. So I booked in to see the barber in a couple of days, and I might just get it all shaved off, we'll see. As you'll see from today, my food isn't that low. I'm only day 3 into my diet. So compared to a lot of people, my food's quite high, especially people at the end of prep, obviously. But compared to what I was on, my food's quite a bit lower. Like today on my training day, it's a good 1,200 calories lower. But my steps have gone from 8,000 steps to 10,000 steps a day. I've got no extra cardio. My cardio was 2 times 20 minutes on the off season, so 2 times a week, 20 minutes. I'm going to try and run that for the whole diet if I can. I'm willing to go up to like 5 days a week for half an hour max if I need to. I'd rather just chip away at food and increase steps. So food today, you'll see. There's not much of a disparity between a training day and a rest day, because like I said, I train in the morning during a week first thing, so my rest day the day before is almost my like training day food, if you'd like. Like so the last 2 meals I have on a rest day are the pre-workout meals for today's session. So it doesn't make much sense to have like no carb on a rest day and then go into my session after a rest day, today a leg day, really underfueled when my legs are like a week's body part. So the disparity is not that much, but you'll see that later on in the series, I suppose. When I do a rest day, full day of eating, I'll probably just go over that a bit more. So guys, on the way to the gym now, I actually forgot to mention that I also have 5 grams of dark chocolate in that first meal. Now, whether I get anything out of that 5 grams of dark chocolate is obviously arguable. Normally you want a bit of fats in your pre-workout meal to help slow the digestion of carbs and that throughout the workout. Obviously I've had a very few amount of carbs, but I do tend to find that I get a bit hungrier a bit sooner if I don't have any sort of fat at all. Whether 5 grams of dark chocolate or what's like 2 or 3 grams of fat will do anything, I doubt it. But again, psychologically it does, and I've got the fats to spare at the moment. The pre-workout I've got today is trained by JP. Prepare. Only 10 grams with only half a serving, which I think is either 150 or 200 milligrams of caffeine, I can't remember, or something in the middle. I've got another bottle of water here. I've got the intra workout in the boot, which obviously, as I said before, is 25 grams of carb. It's always that. I don't get much benefit out of more, but I do notice the benefit compared to getting nothing at all, if that makes sense. So we've got on the back of our house scaffolding, because we've got a roof going up soon, and to be fair, it's taking ages, but that's a different story. I'm good at tangents, aren't I? But because it's so close to our back door, we have to like squeeze in between the scaffolding and the house to get into the back door, which is normally fine unless you've got loads of shopping with you. That's an absolute nightmare. But yesterday, it's my own fault really, it's really dark. I banged my knee against the wall when I was trying to get past the pole, and you know, it's like one of them where like there's no cut or anything, it's like a flat wall, but you know, like you woke up the next day and it feels like bruised on the inside of the knee. So I've got that today, and it's legs, so we'll see. I'll still like try and just bring it all to failure, train hard, but if anything starts giving a niggle, obviously I'll give in a little bit and just take it easy on the quad work. So it's been, I'll turn this off now, lampposts are on. I don't think you can see me actually. Anyway, it's been 3 weeks since I've done this session, because after 3 weeks ago I went away for a week with my dad to Scotland. I've done the other leg day B, twice since being back, just because of the way it's like falling. But obviously going 3 weeks out this leg session is going to probably cause some DOMs, especially the split squat. Like split squat is just like the worst, like when it comes to DOMs, unnecessarily amount of DOMs, especially that glute ham tie-in area for myself anyway. So guys, done with the workout now. It was a very, very good leg session. I'll have already put on some clips. If not, I'll put them over in the background while I chat. I won't go over this session in detail because I've done it multiple times in the past. Obviously, I know I get new subscribers and new people watch, so if any of you guys want to see a more up-to-date version of them videos, let me know. I'll probably do them at some point over the minicut anyway. But in short, this leg day I start off mainly with the isolations, especially because it's a morning session. Even though I'm ready to attack the session, my body's not. So mentally I'm switched on, but my body's just not in the morning. So by doing the isolations first, it just gets my body ready for them compound sets. I still take all the isolations to failure just to make the most out of them. They're not just there for warm-up, they are the exercise. And you should feel quite battered after the isolations. So for example, my second exercise today was lying leg curl, and my third exercise was leg extension. Both 3 sets, and after each set, I was ruined. In a good way, I wasn't injured, but like, I just had a muscle failure. The blood was filling the muscles. I couldn't have got another rep, and by the end of both of them exercises, I could have walked out of the gym knowing I had a good workout. Obviously I didn't. I went on to then hip press and split squat. Ready, warmed up. Do the isolations take away from compound work? Yeah, they do, but only by a little bit. So I lose a little bit of the weight or loading that I put on the compound exercises, but they still progress week on week. They're still hitting failure. They feel much better. They feel much better on the muscle as well as just being overall taxing for the sake of it. And in turn, I also progress the isolations most weeks as well, especially in off season. I'm assuming that will slowly start to settle down as I go into a diet now. At the moment, everything's holding or progressing. Like I said at the start of the video, it's been 3 weeks since I've done this session, and I still progressed or maintained everything, so I'm really happy with that. I'm sure the split squats will absolutely ruin me tomorrow because they really hurt my, really worked I should say, my glutes. But like I said, I can always go into more detail about exercise selection, exercise sequence, and just my general volume and that across the week, or training in general. But for now, I'll keep it to a full day of eating. Right guys, now the rush is over. I finally got down to meal number 2, and as you can see here, it's 100 grams of, well, cream and rice mix. I'll put the totals on the screen. Peanut butter, and then the frozen raspberries are in there. And what I do, I don't know if you can see it, I put them in the microwave for like 30 seconds to a minute. So they're not warm, but they just kind of get that mushy texture. And then I put that on top of the cream and rice. I literally put it on one side. Ever since prep, I've separated the raspberries and the peanut butter. So it's like a bit of a weird prep thing that kind of just stuck. I just prefer the taste. I prefer frozen raspberries to fresh ones, but I don't like them like straight out of the freezer because they're a bit too cold. And if I leave them in the fridge overnight, it makes the whole cream and rice meal go a bit mushy. So I just kind of add them today. That's why I microwave them. Like I said, the macros that will be on the screen. This is probably my biggest carb meal, or one of. I've got like 3 main carby meals today, but anyway, you'll see it all. I don't know why I parked in the sun. You probably can't see me very well. After this, I'll park up somewhere in town and I'll go for like a half-an-hour walk with Faye, and then we'll just crack on in Cafe Nero for like 3 hours to do some work. I might not record there, we'll see. It depends how busy it is. And then after that, like I said, I'm taking Faye for an hour to Bangor for a driving lesson. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. That meal's very nice. I've already, by day 3, gone from not really looking forward to my meals to really enjoying the taste of them. We went to Cafeteria to get some work done, and it's quite productive actually. I got quite a bit done, but we only had 2 hours because we have to, well, we're here now in Bangor. I'll take Faye to Bangor to go on a driving lesson. So I thought I'd do a quick 2,000 step walk. Like I said, I'm only doing 10,000 steps a day at the moment. Ideally, I'll keep that like on that level for as long as possible, but I'd rather increase that than I would increase cardio. So what I'll do is I'll keep it as 10,000 steps a day, both train and rest day. When needed, I'll be willing to go up to 12,500 on a training day and maybe 15,000 on a rest day, max. Cardio, again, I'd rather keep it at the bare minimum, 2 times 20 minutes, maybe even lower if like recovery demands it. And then food will be my main modality of increasing the calorie deficit. And if I need to introduce cardio, I will. Like I said, it's just ideal if I don't have to. So get some steps in now. I've never been here before. Just a random place in Bangor. I hope I don't get mugged. Yeah, never been here before. The main, if we're here, the main road is like literally right next to us. And then what I'll do, my hood is on because it's so windy. And then I'll have my meal 3 in the car again. I thought I'd just record this outside because the whole video's in the car at the moment. So I'll have the meal 3 in the car, and I'll put like an overlay here actually to save me having to speak more crap then. And as you'll see, it's very similar to my off-season meal. It's chicken with pasta, and the veg is, it was normally peas and peppers, but I ran out of peppers, so it's just peas, which again, the macros and the totals will be here. Fruit and veg is at a level which is just like a normal healthy amount that I'd recommend to most people. Every meal, except for that small one I have before my training, has some sort of fruit or veg sauce, and most meals have quite a lot. Today has the least across what I'd normally have in a week, just because me and Faye have a meal 4 together. Usually I'd have a yogurt meal with lots of raspberries, blueberries, apple, dates. I think that's it in terms of fruit and veg. So that meal's been subsidised out for me and Faye. We'll have a meal later, which you'll see. There's no reason to be super rigid to a plan when you're dieting unless you just prefer it, or obviously towards the end of prep you can have to be really meticulous just to make sure that daily fluctuations aren't too dramatic. But in an off-season and a mini cut, you really shouldn't be too strict with food choices if it impairs like social situations and that sort of thing. As long as the food's healthy and it's relatively consistent, like, you know, I still have 4 to 5 meals a day. I have a good bolus of protein with each meal. There's no reason to be like too dogmatic in your approach. It's not going to make a big difference at all. If anything, it might help in terms of a stress response, and obviously in terms of getting on with your family and friends. What you'll see is most meals that I do have with Faye are literally a meat sauce, a carb sauce, and veg. Like, so it's like the same things anyway. So today it'll be steak or salmon. I think it's steak today, sorry, with potatoes. And the potatoes will be air fried into chips, and then we'll have like 10% broccoli on the side. Sometimes it might be salmon with new potatoes, again with veg. Sometimes it might be chicken with rice and like lettuce, like a chipotle bowl with salsa and avocado. So it's healthy food, and it's, in terms of how much it affects me on my next morning weigh-in, not much, because the salt levels are very similar. Salmon meal's probably the saltiest, but it's not gonna make much of a difference. So that's what I'm trying to say. But for now, I'm gonna finish this walk off, get my meal 3 in, get a bit more work done, and then I'll probably catch you guys not until meal number 4. So guys, we are home from Bangor. Did you have a good driving lesson, Faye?
Excellent, thank you.
Excellent, thank you. I'm cooking up meal number 4 now. It's a steak and potato meal, which I did say before. I've actually got the steaks on there. As you can see, Faye's is the further one. Hers goes on first because she does have it in, well, she likes hers like well done. I like mine like medium. These are the chips. They are not looking too good today, actually. I've just steamed up the camera, that's all right. They're not looking too good today, but I think they'll taste nice. We've got a new seasoning from, I forgot where it's from now, was it Harrods Thingy Foods? Heron Foods. Heron Foods. And it's a air fry chip and potato seasoning. It smells really, really nice. It smells nostalgic, and I don't know why. I don't remember what it smells like, but it's something. And Faye's got her little egg bites there, which are smelling very, very nice. Today is the first day I've actually been quite hungry. After the cream of rice meal, I went quite hypo about 2 hours later. And I always get hypo for the first like 2 or 3 weeks in a diet because my body's so much more used to the high carb of the off season. Which, yeah, so if you ever get that yourself, it's normal. Let it pass. Unless obviously you're diabetic, then get looked into. Yeah, don't let it pass. With the first week, I do tend to find, for me, normally the first few days are the hungriest. I haven't been hungry yet because towards the end of the push-up phase, I was like stuffing my face to feed him. I felt like I was. But now it's day 3 and it's the first day where I'm quite hungry. And I think it's because your body kind of gets used to the high food and all of a sudden you get this massive drop. So as the hormones, ghrelin, leptin start to stabilise, I just tend to find that I am hungrier. And then when you get used to the diet after a week or so, if you can stick to it, then you'll just tend to find that you're not as hungry. and then the hunger kind of comes back whenever you make like a big macro change or a big change to your diet. Again, after a few days of that, you'll get used to it. So rely on that. I think it's good to have more filling foods like veg, fruit. I've got potato on the go here. If you want some like Diet Cokes, that's fine, but I think you can go too far. And if you start volumizing your food way too much and getting these really nice like sugar-free, like sweetened jellies, then it's just gonna make your food focus higher. So it's best to kind of limit them or avoid them. It just makes it harder in the long run. I tend to have a few like diet drinks throughout the day, and I'll have sweeteners and that in some of my yogurts. That's about it for myself. And then just embrace the hunger. That doesn't mean go ahead and eat lots of Pop-Tarts and eat lots of crappy food and get all the calories in that way, because that will make you hungry. But anyway, I'm going to finish this off and I'll show you guys the final product. So guys, this is the final product. I'm actually a bit disappointed because the steak's cooked all the way through. That's phase there. The steak's cooked all the way through. Even though I put phase in for longer, I think it's a thicker steak, so they both cooked to it. It'll still be nice, I'm sure. The amount of potatoes I've got is now the same as Faye, and Faye is a lot smaller than me, so that's just goes to show how much my food's been reduced by. It's been reduced by a good, like I said, 1,200 calories. This meal I usually have 600 plus grams of potato, well, usually 600. At the moment, it's 350 grams of potato. But like I said before, don't over volumize your food unnecessarily. Make it taste nice, make it filling, like the potatoes and the broccoli there, but don't over volumize it. I put a bit of olive oil on the broccoli just because we quickly pan fry it after we've like parboiled it with garlic and salt. I think it's just salt. And then I'll add barbecue sauce as well because the steak's a little bit overdone. But that's everything. I'll put the macros in that here if I haven't already. Me and Faye are going to watch one of the last season of Breaking Bad now. And then, yeah, I'll catch you guys for meal number 5. So the good news is that meal was absolutely fantastic. My next meal is on now, and I'll put like a picture of it here. It's basically my oat meal that I've been having for my last meal of the day for like over a year now. Well, to be fair, I've had oats in my diet for the best part of like 5+ years, every day. But as my last meal, it's been like pretty much since the start of prep, and it came out towards the end of prep and it's back in now. End of my off season, I got like 120 grams of like a mixture of oats and just plain ground rice. Now it's 100 grams, so it's still quite high, but this is my pre-workout meal, like I said earlier on in the video, for my training session tomorrow, for example. So tomorrow I've got upper, after a couple of rice cakes and a protein shake. So this now is my final meal. My favourite meal of the day by far, obviously. Oats always is in the diet. Like I said, the good news was the last meal's great, but the bad news is, for my oats, I usually have Perform Chocolate Orange, as you all know, because it's the best for oats. I've actually run out, so I've got a JP Chocolate Orange on there, which isn't too bad, but it's just not Perform. When it comes to mixing with oats, Perform is just the best flavour. JP digests really easily, actually, that performance protein, but it's because it's got a lot of isolate in it as well. So since the last meal, I've finished off my work that I had to do. Faye's gone for a shower. Obviously watched a bit of Breaking Bad, and then for the last half an hour or so, I've actually been playing, which you guys are going to laugh at me for. Good old World of Warcraft classic. Well, Cataclysm classic. When I was younger, I got pretty, well, addicted to World of Warcraft. I started playing around the Burning Crusade, Lich King era, for those of you that are nerdy enough to know. And then I kind of got bored, well, shortly after Mr. Pandaria, really. It kind of went downhill quite fast. But Cataclysm for me was when I was like the most invested. I think I was like the first year of uni, so I was a proper bum. But yeah, that's it. That's a full day of eating. All the macros now for the day will be here. Like I said, it's a big initial drop from the end of the off-season calories. I'm hoping to lose about 2 pounds a week. I've already lost 3 pounds now. Obviously, it's only day 3, or day 4. But yeah, that initial bump is just going to be glycogen and water. That always happens, and food volume, that's just gone. I will also record a full day of eating on a rest day, but that'll probably be after my next like reduction of calories, so that'll be quite interesting to watch. It's a little bit different to what I have today, except for the oats, of course. But that's it, guys. Any questions, drop them in the box below. Otherwise, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.